there is a house that still chills the world with its name alone. A place where bloodshed, whispers in the dark, and shadows of the past linger forever. This is the story of the Amityville Horror House. On a map, it doesn't look like much. Just a white-painted Dutch colonial home set back from the road on a regular block in the quiet suburban town of Amityville, New York. It looks like your American dream neighborhood, but the neat lawns and tidy gardens hide secrets best left buried. Because behind those walls, horror was born. It was here in this house on the night of November 13th, 1974, a young man named Ronald DeFeo Jr., only 23 years old, picked up a rifle and murdered his entire family in their sleep. His parents, his 2 brothers, his 2 sisters, all gone in a matter of minutes, shot one by one in their beds. What made the crime even more chilling was the silence. None of the victims seemed to have woken up, not even after the first gunshots. Neighbors, just a few feet away, heard nothing. It was as if something darker, something unnatural muffled the screams and silenced the chaos. When police arrived, they found the DeFeo family lying face down, lined up as though arranged by invisible hands. Ronald confessed, but his words were haunting. He claimed voices in the house told him to do it. But this is just the beginning of the story, because the house stood empty for over a year, until December 1975, when the Lutz family moved in. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, thought they had found their dream home. The murders were past. They thought the nightmare was over, but it had only just begun. From the very first day, the family felt uneasy. A heavy atmosphere clung to every room, as if the walls themselves remembered the blood spilled there. Strange, unexplainable cold spots appeared in the middle of warm rooms. Doors slammed shut on their own. A swarm of flies filled one upstairs bedroom in the dead of winter, buzzing angrily around an unseen presence. And then there was the basement. At first, the smell hit them like a physical blow. Damp, mildewy, like a tomb. And when George turned on the single bare bulb, the stench grew even stronger. It smelled like decay, like death. George, the father, changed in terrifying ways. Normally kind, he became distant, angry, and unpredictable. Night after night, he would wake at exactly 3:15 a.m., the exact time the DeFeo murders had taken place. He claimed he felt compelled, almost controlled, by an unseen force. He talked to no one about these visions, fearing they would think him mad. But the truth was, he wasn't sleeping anymore. No longer able to rest, he paced the floor for hours, haunted by whispers and images only he could see. Kathy, the mother, suffered terrifying visions. She dreamt of the murders, felt invisible hands grabbing her, and once even claimed to see the ghostly figure of a woman with glowing red eyes watching her children sleep. The children were not spared either. Their daughter Missy began speaking to an imaginary friend named Jody. But Jody was no ordinary playmate. Jody, according to Missy, was a demonic pig-like creature with red glowing eyes. Eyes that George and Kathy swore they saw staring back at them from the windows at night. And so, the terror continued. One night, George heard footsteps pounding up the stairs. When he raced to check the children's room, he found their beds shaking violently, as if something was trying to lift them into the air. The children screamed, huddled in the corner. "Make it stop, Daddy! Make it stop!" they cried. Another night, Kathy awoke screaming, her body covered in strange welts and bruises that had appeared while she slept. She said she felt something touch her, something cold and malevolent. The family's priest, Father Ralph Pecoraro, came to bless the home, but even he was not safe. When he entered one of the upstairs rooms, he heard a deep, commanding voice snarl, "Get out!" Terrified, he tried to continue his blessing, but his hands began to swell and blister as though burned. He fled, warning the Lutz family never to step foot in that room again. But the house would not release its grip. Over the course of just 28 days, the haunting escalated into madness. Shadows moved on their own. Slime oozed from the walls, crucifixes twisted upside down, and George claimed he saw a dark figure, cloaked in black, standing at the foot of their bed, watching, always watching. Then came the night. The house broke. The family heard loud bangs, doors flying open, and windows shattering. The children screamed as their beds lifted from the floor. The Lutzes gathered what they could, ran from the house, and never returned. They left behind all their possessions, never to reclaim them. The next family that moved in barely lasted a week before they too fled, claiming the home was possessed by a demon. So the truth is, this house has been anything but a blessing. For decades, it's been a mystery. Why did the Lutzes flee after only 28 days? Why did the other families run? And what drove Ronald DeFeo to massacre his entire family inside? To this day, the story of the Amityville Horror divides believers and skeptics. Some say it was a hoax, a tale spun for fame and money. Others insist the evil was real, pointing to the DeFeo murders as proof that something dark lurked within those walls long before the Lutz family arrived. But what do we really know? Was this house built on an ancient burial ground or cursed by a witch long ago? Did Satan himself lay claim to the property that fateful night in 1974? Or was it all in the minds of those who dared to enter? All we know for sure is this: the Amityville Horror House still stands today. Families have lived there since, claiming peace and quiet. But those who know the story, who have felt the heavy silence when passing by on Ocean Avenue, whisper that the evil may simply be waiting, biding its time. Because a house soaked in blood never truly forgets. If you dare, visit the Amityville Horror House today. Drive past 112 Ocean Avenue on a cold, quiet night. You might see the faint flicker of lights in the windows. You might hear footsteps echoing inside, long after the living have gone. And maybe, just maybe, you'll hear a voice whisper from the darkness, "Get out." Let me know. Are you scared yet? Let me know in the comments below.